Top 10 Naruto characters that don't get enough attention. There are many different kinds of people in Naruto. Kishimoto did a great job of ensuring that all the characters introduced in the series got some screen time. This is hard to do when there are a lot of characters in a series. Some of the characters in the series have been overlooked, even though they are perfect. In this video, I will tell you about the top 10. The video will be unique, so stick to the end. Before starting the video, smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Now let's get started. 10. Konoha. When something in the Hidden Leaf got too political, the Konoha Council often gave the Hokage good advice. This Konoha Council has always had Homura Midokado and Koharu Yudatain. This was true for the third Hokage and those who came after him. And even though they seem like two older adults who advise that most people don't listen to, they play a more significant role than readers think. Even Danzo said that Homura and Koharu aren't precisely famous shinobi, which is interesting. He said the only reason the two were still alive was luck, and they knew how to make friends with the right people. Because of this small detail, the Konoha Council is one of the most underrated groups in the franchise. 9. Kirinayu. Kirinayu might be the only Jonin team captain from Naruto's group who doesn't significantly affect the story. Her skill as a kunoichi was overshadowed by the fact that she was only known as Asuma's love interest and didn't do much in battle during the show. It's too bad that Kirinai's first real fight was against Itachi, a Jinjutsu genius who can beat her with his Sharingan. Itachi's fighting skills got more robust because of her loss, but Kirinai's story was put on hold. This is a shame, given how good Kirinayu is as a Jonin. Kirinayu is so good at Jinjutsu that she can see through illusions and use different Jinjutsu on enemies simultaneously. 8. Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hiruzen was taught by the first and second Hokage, known as the Gods of Shinobi. This helped him become a powerful shinobi in his own right. But it's frustrating that this title doesn't have a backstory to help it make sense. After all, it's only suggested that Hiruzen didn't fight hard enough when he was fighting to the end with Orochimaru. On the other hand, readers could only see how smart it was to seal Orochimaru's arms after the battle. If Hiruzen had more chances to show how good he was in action, his title would have been more convincing. Fans should remember, for example, that Orochimaru fought Hiruzen when the latter was already past his prime and hesitant to go all out. Most people admire Hiruzen for how wise he is. 7. Chio. Even though she was known as Sunagekyu's poison and puppeteer expert, Chio didn't stay in Naruto long enough to have a lasting effect on puppet masters like Kankuro and Sasori. After being introduced as a regular old lady, Chio showed she was a total badass when she and Sakura went up against the Akatsuki Sasori, who seemed impossible to beat. The last thing Chio did to bring Gaara back to life is also a memorable part of Naruto. Chio's forbidden technique, one's own life reincarnation, showed that she was an excellent medical nin. But if she had looked more closely at how she worked with puppets, she might have had a better idea of how Kankuro fought. So Chio could have become the well-known, honorable Grandma Chio of the Sand if Naruto had given her more time to show how good she was at puppeteering. 6. Shino Abiram. Shino is Naruto's best example of a character who got a lot of attention but didn't get to make the most of it. Shino is the resident bug expert on the Konoha 11 in the show. He's not a pushover, either, because his bugs can also be used to hurt people. Shino's foundation, however, is pretty typical, and he doesn't follow through on what he says. Shino is one of the quiet geniuses in the Konoha 11 team, along with Neji and Sasuke. Shino is pretty normal compared to the Byakugan and the Sharingan. Shino, along with Hinata and Kiba, is the brains of Team Kirinayu. He has had enough screen time to show that he is a brilliant tactician, especially with his craft. 5. Anko Mitarashi. Anko is known for two things. She is in charge of the practical part of the Chunin exams, and she used to be Orochimaru's apprentice. Given the gravity of her involvement in Part I's story, it's surprising how the story sidelined Anko for much of Part Yaya. Anko's training with Orochimaru makes her different from other Jonin, mainly because her attacks are based on snakes, and she can't get sick from poisons. As a Takebetsu Jonin, Anko specializes in espionage and tracking. At some point, Orochimaru tested the cursed seal of heaven on Anko. He then used the final version of Sasuke. Anko left Orochimaru after that and vowed to get even. Anko's desire for revenge was not fulfilled though, because Sasuke got his own back on Orochimaru in the end. Since then, Anko has been there for everything that has to do with spying. 4. Tenten. Tenten of Team Guy might not have the Byakugan that Neji Hyuga has or the Taijutsu genius that Rock Lee has. However, her weapon mastery and specialization in the sealing arts of Fuinjutsu should have set her apart from her Konoha 11 batchmates. Tenten's introduction immediately establishes her proficiency and superiority in using weapons and ninja tools. Tenten is also a huge fan of collecting weapons, and her skills with them are unmatched. Sad to say, Tenten almost always has to use all of her weapon attacks before she can do any damage to her opponents. Even more frustrating was that Tenten didn't change much beyond the stereotype of a weapon user. 3. Iruka Yumino. Iruka is best known as Naruto's teacher at the academy. He is also Naruto's only real father figure. It makes sense for Iruka-sensei to stay out of the way now that Naruto has graduated from the academy. Fans don't pay as much attention to him as they do Kakashi and Guy because he is the instructor and will eventually be the headmaster in Baruto. The thing is, Iruka has a lot more to offer than just being the instructor. As a Jonin, Iruka shows that she is very good at all shinobi skills. His instructor job means he is also the best person to understand and teach young trainees. This helped people like Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki realize their role as shinobi in the future. 2. Ibiki Marino. Ibiki is in charge of the written part of Naruto's Chunin exams, where students try to cheat without getting caught. But Ibiki isn't seen much after this arc. He only shows up in short scenes or snippets. Ibiki is a Takubetsu Jonin, a type of Jonin who specializes in a particular field. In Ibiki's case, he is the best questioner in the Hidden Leaf Village. He is in charge of the Konoha force for torture and interrogation. Even though Ibiki isn't as good at fighting as Kakashi and Guy, he's still pretty good. But Ibiki is a terrifying interrogator because he knows so much about people's thoughts and feelings. 1. Shizune. Shizune's almost permanent job as the Hokage's glorified assistant can make her less valuable than Tsumade's apprentice. Shizune looks like an ordinary secretary, but she is a kunoicha who is as fierce as a beast. Her standout is how well she knows and can use medical ninjutsu. Shizune used these to figure out what pains black receivers were and how the White Zetsu army was made. She fought Kabuto, Orochimaru's apprentice, because she was good at fighting and knew a lot about poisons. Ultimately, it's important to remember that Shizune's medical and hidden organizational skills made her an excellent choice to lead the medical nin of the medical division in the Fourth Great Ninja War. Leave a comment below to tell us what you think. That was everything for today. I hope the video was fun for you. Make sure to follow our YouTube channel. Stay safe, and we'll post another video soon.